welcome back, everybody. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show on S3. We're still continuing the conversation with regards to the kids, and we know that World Clubfoot Day is designed to raise global awareness of clubfoot deformities. Now, in Southern Africa, get this, more than 11,000 children are born with clubfoot each year. Although this day may be celebrated annually, there's still so much awareness about clubfoot, how it affects children, and the treatment options that we need to open ourselves to.
Yeah, now this morning, founder and director of STEPS, Karen Moss, and senior specialist and head of Paediatric Unit at Tygerberg Hospital, Dr. Thiart, joins us to discuss the topic of clubfoot. Ladies, it's so good to have you this morning. Welcome. How are you doing?
Very well,
Yeah,
thanks. Thanks for having us.
I got to ask, did we miss the brief on the yellow, or is that just something you guys are doing?
Yeah, we've kind of chosen yellow as a colour awareness colour for clubfoot. It's nice and bright and childlike and friendly. And what happens is when we celebrate World Clubfoot Day in the clinics, the staff will all wear yellow, and it's kind of just adds more awareness to it.
Oh,
so,
I love that.
Yes.
That's awesome. So, Doc, let's get straight into it for the rest of the viewers at home as well, and Mzansi that isn't aware of clubfoot. What exactly is it? Can you tell us more about it?
So clubfoot is a congenital deformity. So congenital meaning that it's present at birth. So we can diagnose it immediately. You can actually diagnose it in uterine with ultrasound. And essentially, it's the most common musculoskeletal condition, meaning any condition of the bone and joint is the most common one. And essentially what it means is the foot is turned in and down, and it is fixed in this position. So the baby is not able to lift up the foot and put their heel down. And essentially, that is what clubfoot is.
Okay.
That must be so scary for any parent to be able to receive that news, whether the baby's, in the womb or whatever. Let's speak about how common it is. As I mentioned earlier, about 11,000 in Southern Africa. Let's speak about right here in South Africa and also just globally how common it is.
Well, we work on there's not a lot of very pure data out there. We're still collecting a lot of data, but there have been studies done about it, and it seems that the world average is about 1 in 750 live births, but in South Africa and Eastern Africa also, it seems to be higher, according to studies, and they're not sure why, because they still haven't identified a cause for clubfoot. It's something genetic, but they haven't really worked out exactly what the cause is. So we work on 1 in every 500 children, which makes it actually the most common birth defect in South Africa. So, and the fact that there's so many children born with it every year means that those children need to get care, because otherwise, if they don't, they're going to be disabled.
Now, you mentioned care, and that's something I actually want to speak about. Now, what does it mean, or what are the options when it comes to care? Is there an option or a solution in terms of maybe something invasive like surgery? Is that necessary, or can we potentially rehab our way back to a better sort of situation where we can walk a little bit easier?
So essentially, in the 80s, sort of the old traditional teaching was that clubfoot had to be treated with surgery. But when Ponseti came up with his casting technique, we essentially have realized that clubfoot can be treated conservatively, meaning not with any surgery. Okay. So essentially what we do is we cast the baby's foot every week. It's best to start as soon as we can after birth. And every week we see the baby and we cast the foot into a better position. So essentially, if we look at the model, this is the talus bone, and we use this as our lever, essentially. So we lift the foot around this bone, reducing it in position, and slowly but surely the foot corrects.
Oh, okay. And
is that the Ponseti technique?
Yes.
Okay. And then if you had to go the full extent and actually do surgery, what difference would that do?
So there is very, very few cases where we actually do surgery. So all our patients, we always treat with Ponseti first. Wow. So the Ponseti is weekly casting, generally 6 to 8 casts, and then we assess whether the Achilles tendon at the back of the heel is tight or not. Then we do a small procedure, so it's a little surgery, but it's a small procedure, and then we do the final cast. Once that cast is off in 3 weeks' time, they go into our maintenance phase, which is the boots, and they wear those boots until the age of 4. So there's really a very small amount of patients that we offer any surgery to.
Well,
these boots are cute as well. I definitely want a pair as well.
Yeah.
Oh, so just to maybe talk about this.
Those. They don't have to wear them during the day. So what happens is once they've had their final cast removed, they normally sleep in the boots and bar for about 3 months for 23 hours a day, because what these do, they're not correcting the foot, but they're just stopping the foot from pulling back in again, which is actually can happen you can have a recurrence, and then you've got to start the whole process over again. So this is like wearing a braces on your teeth. All it's doing is holding your feet in position, and babies' feet are very stretchy and the bones are pliable, so they can easily get turned in again, you know, from whatever causes the foot to turn in from having clubfoot. So, but what is really fantastic about this, my son was born with clubfoot, is really, after those 3 months, it's just only put on at night and when they're sleeping. So during the day, they're running around with bare feet, having completely active lives, and that's really incredible, because you don't, and you know, unless you're there at night, you wouldn't even know this child ever had clubfoot, which is nice for the parents.
I love that. I mean, it honestly feels like you're killing a perception, because I don't think even many people are aware of this and aware of the fact that you didn't necessarily need surgery. So it's enlightening to know that there's a great option and it doesn't take as long as we might expect. But we've also got some more information coming through from you ladies a little bit later. So we're not going anywhere. And Mzansi, you need to do the same. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be chatting to the doctor and Karen a little bit later and talking more about clubfoot, how it affects us, what we can do, and how it involves our environment. And we've got a special guest coming in too as well. So stick around and don't go anywhere.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. Of course, we're picking up on the conversation, and we've got a special guest right now that we're chatting to, and we're still discussing World Clubfoot Day with founder and director of STEPS, Corin Moss, and senior specialist and head of the Paediatric Unit at Tygerberg Hospital, Dr. Marie Thiart. And they are also going to be joined by Nompiake Motisi, whose son Okwam has bilateral clubfoot. So a big warm welcome to Nompi. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good, thank you.
You guys are looking so radiant. I feel so left out now that I'm not wearing yellow. I love this, and I encourage everyone in Mzansi at home on the 3rd of June as well. Maybe you can also wear yellow too, because it is obviously World Clubfoot Day, and we're raising awareness for that cause. But guys, thank you again for being here, man.
Karen, I want to bring it back to you, because I heard you say that your son was diagnosed with clubfoot. So you're obviously now the director and founder of the organization called STEPS. Is that the reason you got involved in this? Or maybe tell us a bit more about the organization.
Yes, I did start STEPS because of my son and my personal experience when he was about 2 years old. And the reason was that I wanted to try and get this method more accepted and part of the medical community in South Africa, because at the time it was still very not much used globally. Now it's best practice and the global standard, but in those days it wasn't. So I actually had to go to America to get him treated like that. And when I came back, I just thought, how do other children benefit from this amazing technique, you know, and it seemed the most sense to start a non-profit, which was something I didn't really know much about at the time. And it's just grown from there, you know, learning as I go along, and having, I think what's really made STEPS successful is strong relationship we have with the doctors and the medical community. We really work like a team. Clubfoot treatment is a whole team effort. It's between the doctors, us as a support organization, and the parents, you know, and without that it doesn't work. So, and I think it's been, now we've got trained lots of doctors and physiotherapists and other people with other amazing people that come and help us to do the training. And we now support 38 clinics within the South African state health system. Started off with some big clinics in main centres, but now we're trying to spread it into smaller rural areas, because that's where the kids are not getting treatment, because the parents don't have money to bring them to the big clinics. And you know, there's a lot of information. That's why it's so important to do these kind of programs, so that we can reach more people. So yeah, it's crucial, actually.
Absolutely crucial. Now, Nompi, I can see Okom is just like so engaged by those boots over there, and I was so excited to hear he was even singing an awesome song before he puts them on.
Do you want to sing the song to us?
Are you going to sing the song, Okom?
Boots samanande.
Ooh. Manane, boots,
It doesn't feel like singing today.
It's okay, man. He's just been playing all morning. But Nompi, maybe ask you a question. I believe Okom was actually on the show maybe like 2 years ago. So this is somewhat of a reunion. He's looking incredible. He's walking around the whole studio, just trying to run around. He wants to go. But how have things been? How's the treatment been for him?
Okay, the treatment has been great. So he went on from 23-hour wear. We now wear only at night.
Okay,
because when he was here the last time, he was wearing for 23 hours a day. Okay. So now it's a struggle now, a bit, because we now even have a song for the boots. Because now he fights with me. It's the terrible twos. So I get I get to sing the song just for him to wear his boots, because it's vital that I make sure that he wears them every night.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just keep on wearing the boots. He's going to wear the boots up until he's 4 years old.
Okay.
So I need to make sure every night he wears his boots, and yeah, and I go for checkups every 3 months or so.
Oh, that's beautiful. And so I'm imagining in the next few years, you're going to start developing a lot more new songs for these boots as well.
Yeah, as we go along. If it works, as we go along.
The man looks like he's got so much energy. Eh? He's supposed to play.
He does. Yo, he does.
Nombi, I want to ask you about, obviously, your partnership with Steps and maybe how they have helped you along with this journey. Because, I mean, having a 2-year-old, having this, you need all the support. And so I'm sure that this partnership has meant so much to you.
It has, absolutely. And I'm grateful for Karen and Steps and the doctors who worked tirelessly with our kids. And I did not know anything about Clubfoot up until I went into the Steps organization website. That's where I learned everything about Clubfoot. And yeah, it helps so many people. And in the communities, there's so many people who don't know about Clubfoot. Even in my street, they're still amazed. They still ask, is that the same child who was born with the legs facing together? I said, yes, it's treatable. It's a disability that people don't know of. And I really want to get the information out there. Even on my Facebook and my WhatsApp, I talk about Clubfoot because so many people don't know about it. So yeah, I just push the information, and I hope people know that there is something like this, which is Clubfoot, and it can be treated. That's most importantly.
Yeah, I think it's so great though, and that education factor you're speaking about being so important. And I think for a lot of Mzansi right now, we're learning a lot that we've never known when it comes to Clubfoot. But lastly, how can people maybe get involved in supporting this cause? I mean, the work you guys are doing is absolutely incredible. And I know a lot of viewers out there are wanting to show support. Maybe they can relate in some way. How can they maybe donate or support this incredible movement you've got going?
Oh, thanks for, we really appreciate anything we can get. We've got different ways that people can donate through the website with SnapScan. You know, you can do repeat donations, even 50 Rand a month. I mean, it takes us, for us to support one child through their 4-year journey as a support organisation, only about 2,500 Rand, and to really get, you know, boost the whole treatment. Obviously, part of it's done by the doctors and the clinics, but we believe that Steps, you know, plays a role in getting those kids right through the 4 years. It's a long journey. So, yeah, through the website is easiest. There's online donations through various ways of doing it, and a SnapScan is often the easiest for people, or you can do an EFT. Yeah, if you want to bring your money, we'll take it.
Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. World Clubfoot Day. Also, don't forget to wear yellow in remembrance, just to bring awareness on this. And of course, your donation can help a child walk in South Africa, so get on that right away.